Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have charged the microphone, so hopefully sound or quality will be improved, but I am holding it, so we'll find out. Today we are doubling down on the perennial herb garden. This morning I went to the garden centre. I've bought a whole load of perennial herbs and I'm going to find homes for them in the garden. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is because something popped up on my Instagram feed this morning from a small retailer offering winter hardy vegetable perennial herb sets. And it looked like a good deal. It's a small business. You got 9 plants in the set and it was just under £30 without postage. But when I looked at that, that was more than £2, it was like £2.60 per plant. And I know that I have a local garden centre, family-run business very close to me, and they sell a lot of herbs for a lot less. So I figured out that I could, still support a little small business somewhere local to me, save myself a little bit of money, and achieve the perennial herb garden of my dreams. So this is what we're attempting to do. Let me show you what I've got. So first and foremost, that looks like a lot of plants and they all look really healthy. They're having a really good soak. I tried to plant out a herb garden in this bed some time ago. I can't remember exactly when. And most of the plants have died and I think the main reason is that I didn't actually think to water them before I planted them. I just planted them and they were really dry. So they're getting a good drink today. Let me show you what I've got. The lapel mic says that it is green and therefore you should be able to hear me okay. I may need to re-record this. We'll see. The smell coming out of this is amazing. I'm so excited for this to be successful. First up, I have replaced the purple sage. The purple sage that completely died the first time I tried to... Peanut, what are you doing? Being sabotaged by dogs again. Just walking off with stuff out of the compost bin. Anyway, also being replaced is the catnip. So they are compensating for past failures. Next up, a lemon balm. I have a golden sage, because you can never have too many sages, apparently. On the same token, I've got 3, if not 4 thyme. This is a common thyme. This is a Doon Valley thyme. I know nothing about this, other than it's perennial. It looks like it's one that does a lot of ground cover, and that's really what I want it for, to help suppress weeds. I might have to go and intervene with the dogs. Just helping himself. This is another thyme called Silver Posy. And this is not a thyme. This is Winter Savoury, and it smells just incredible. A really citrusy kind of a smell. I was filming. Okay. The dogs have been ejected from the allotment and I can carry on. Where did we get to? Winter Savoury, absolutely gorgeous. And then the other three are a little bit of a wild card in the sense that I'm not sure that they are really perennial. It says they are, but they're not hardy perennials. So the first one is an oregano. So hopefully this survives the winter. I have killed oreganos before. This one is a marjoram, which is very similar to an oregano, if not actually just the same. These have already had a haircut because I cut them to use in my lunch today, so I'm super excited to have these. And this is a French tarragon, which also says, no, this doesn't say it's perennial, so this might just be as much as I can for the rest of the year. That's it. Now I have to see where they're all going to go. Maybe you can help me with that. I did just check all the labels, and the tarragon does say it is a perennial, so that gives me more hope, and so do the marjoram and the oregano. So these are all perennials. Now, the easy ones, we know where these are going. The purple sage will replace the dead purple sage, and the catnip will replace the dead catnip. So those are easy. The thyme, this ground covering thyme, I would like to help keep down weeds in this space here. I think that's going to go there. And then, I don't know how big Winter Savoury grows. What does the label say? Absolutely nothing useful. At least not in answering this question. I've got little gaps all over, and some things might do better in pots. I'm going to take the lemon balm and put it in this gap here, because again the intent here is to fill gaps so that I keep weeds down, and lemon balm should grow quite big and be quite wild, and then hopefully as the wild garlic gets more established, maybe I can divide it and move it sometime later. Oh look, lupins are about to flower. No, it's a snapdragon. Other places, herbs. Oh, poor doggie's in prison. Going to take marjoram and it over here, and I might take the tarragon and try it there. Do you think I can put a sage in the middle? Should I put the golden sage there? I think that will be ace. I'm planting the common thyme in the middle of this first bed, the one closest to the shed, and on the opposite side to where the other row of herbs is, if that makes sense to you. And I'm reading the conditions that the thyme needs particularly. It talks about plant in poor, well-drained soil in full sun. And although I've got grit, and I'm going to add some grit into the hole, what I find incredible is the way this soil texture has changed. These raised beds, the ones exactly the same as the ones behind me that you can see, weren't here 18 months ago, 12 months ago. This was last summer's project to build them. And I filled the beds, this bed particularly, with a combination of bought-in topsoil, well-rotted manure, and ordinary bags of compost. And yet, in just a year, the soil consistency has taken on the same sort of sandy, well-drained consistency of the natural soil here. I mean, this should be... This is like 200 millimeters, 20 centimeters of what should be really rich, really loamy kind of soil, and it just isn't. And I think that is a sign of just how well the ecosystem in the soil is, because I'm guessing that what's happened is all of the creatures in the soil have dug up, brought down the imported compost and things that I've brought in, and replaced it with the natural soil, sandy soil of the area. So yeah, this is quite poor, well-drained soil. But I'm still going to add in a couple of handfuls of grit into the area where I'm planting the thyme, because they really don't. They really need really well-drained soil if they're going to be successful. Okay, I'm all done. I've just got this one last one, and I've decided I'm going to put it in a pot. Mostly because having improvised this whole idea of my perennial herb bed this morning, hadn't really thought about it before, haven't really planned that I'm going to have things in places, and so yeah, I don't have fully all of the space that would be desirable for the locations for these herbs. So I found homes for all of them apart from the traditional oregano. So that will go in a pot, and if it lives and survives until next year, maybe I'll find a new home for it then. So I shall say farewell for now.